Hey winning couples, is licensed therapist and certified coach Robin May, and in this video I am sharing with you the often overlooked secret weapon for winning in your marriage. I want you to go ahead and check out the video now. If you get at least one takeaway, I want you to like the video, share it, and comment. It helps move the video up in the algorithm. And one more thing, did you know the I Believe in Marriage website has been completely revamped? So after you watch this video, will you go ahead and head to the website? There are so many resources there just for you and your spouse to help you all win in your marriage. All right, let's check out the video. You are our winning couples. Listen, you can absolutely win in your marriage, and I am committed to helping Christian couples just like you, just like my husband and I am committed to helping Christian couples win in their marriage. And actually, I want to help you define what winning looks like to you, what winning looks like in the reality of your marriage. I want you to be able to be clear about that. And what's interesting about the concept of winning in your marriage, what winning looks like in this season may be different than what winning looks like in another season. And that is why, if you haven't already, you need to go ahead and click the link in my bio and get your hands on the Couples Playbook. The Couples Playbook helps you and your spouse understand, write down, put on paper what winning looks like in your marriage. So let's dive in. What is the secret weapon to winning in your marriage? Finish this sentence for me. When I say this, y'all are already going to know what I mean. All of us know that we were taught what happens in this house stays in this house. But I think some of us have taken that way too far. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, Robin, you tripping. But listen to me. I know that we were taught what happens in this house stays in this house. And there is truth to that. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I think many of us have taken it too far because we have isolated ourselves so much as married couples. Many couples that I work with have isolated themselves so much that they are missing a secret weapon to winning in their marriage. And so when I'm working with couples, whether it's a new couple, it's a couple I've been working with for a while, I literally just had this conversation today with a couple that I always ask them this: who are the people in your circle? I ask them, who are your people? Who are the people you're talking to? I ask the wife, who are your closest people? I ask the husband, who are your closest people? I ask the spouse, who holds you all, the spouses together, who holds you all accountable? So what is the secret weapon to winning in your marriage? Creating your marriage advisory board. It is the secret weapon. And I see so many couples who are isolated. They have nobody in their life that they can trust to navigate life with, to just have fun with, to talk about challenges with. They don't have that accountability. And I'm telling you, it's an often overlooked secret weapon. But I ain't gonna just tell it to y'all because some of y'all don't believe me. Can I prove it to you? Okay, let me show you all what the research says. Now, I know many of you have heard the research that says you are most like the 5 people you spend the most time with. And there are some research studies that back that, but the core of that message is backed by so much research because, let me tell you, what one study found, it was a study out of Harvard, and listen to this, it was Harvard and a study at UC in San Diego. It said this, that our behaviors are literally contagious. Now, I don't know how long y'all have been rocking with me, but if you've rocked with me for a while, you know I often talk about the fact that movie, I think it was Denzel. I know it was a Denzel Washington movie. I just can't remember the name of it. But it was something about a guy was whistling, and whenever somebody picked up the whistling, were they the murderer? It was, I can't say that kind of stuff on Instagram. They'll block me. But the person who would pick up whistling, it was contagious. The whistling was contagious. I talk about that all the time as an example about how you can just be in somebody's space and you start picking things up. There was a time my daughter and one of her really good friends, they started talking like they were from London. They started having this London accent. So that everybody around them started doing it. It just got contagious. Or you start picking up mannerisms of people that you spend a lot of time with. I have a cousin that is from California. And I started picking up when I was a little girl a lot of the California slang that I had never heard before. And so we know that that happens. This happens to all of us. And so researchers have found that behaviors are literally contagious. Watch this. Research says if your close friends gain weight, you are 51% more likely to gain weight. See, that's the problem. Okay. The reason why I can't lose my weight, I got to look around at my people in my life. It's not me influencing them. It's them influencing me. So research finds if your close friends gain weight, you are 51% more likely to gain weight. Watch this. If your friends are happy, you are likely to feel happy. And watch this. The research found that smoking, drinking, and divorce can spread through friendship groups. That's what the research tells us. So the research, I think it was Jim, what's his, Jim, ooh, I don't want to make something up. I can't remember the guy's name. Let me see if I can find it while we're on here. It was a gentleman who talked about, let me see if I can find his name really, really quickly. Jim, Rohn, Rowan. Anyway, he talked about the fact that you are most like the average 5 people you hang out with. But I want you to understand that there is some truth to that research. Research finds that smoking, drinking, and divorce can spread through friendship groups. And so when I tell you your secret weapon to winning in your marriage is being careful about the people that you spend the most time with, having an advisory board for your marriage, I want you to be very careful how you select those people. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I have talked often about the fact that I am working on a book. It's actually in my phone. I have notes in my phone where I am writing a book called God Been Said That. And yes, I'm going to use that language, that Ebonic sentence. God Been Said That. And the purpose of the book is to talk about all this research that's out there, all of these studies, all this science that gives all of these random facts that has been in the Bible, okay? And so when I talk about that in context of this conversation, if the research says you tend to catch what happens in your friend circle, listen to what Proverbs tells us. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Paul tells us in Corinthians, bad company corrupts good character. So I know what the research says, but I want you to understand that God been said that. So when the Bible talks about there's wisdom in a multitude of counsel, that does not mean go to Facebook and tell all of your business. But what it does mean is that you want to hand select who your wise counsel is. So the bottom line is, if you don't take anything else from this conversation, because I'm going to tell you how to find your circle in just a minute, but if you don't take anything else from this conversation, what I want you to take is that your circle is not neutral. Your circle is either growing you closer in your marriage, or your circle is causing you to disconnect in your marriage. Again, your circle is not neutral. Your circle is either strengthening your marriage, or your circle is sabotaging your marriage, because the people you hang out with are influencing you. And I don't want this to be casual. Like I said, your circle is not neutral. I don't want this to be casual. I want you to intentionally hand select your circle. So let's go back to what Mama and them said. What happens in this house stays in this house. And then Mama told you you can't tell everybody your business, and Mama was right. You cannot tell everybody your business. That's true. You cannot talk to everyone. When you talk to the wrong people, people who are going to gossip and tell your business, people who are bitter about relationships, people who don't have the same mindset about marriage that you do, when you talk to those people, they can reinforce your negativity Not even, you might not even be negative. You may feel positive. They reinforce negativity and they may co-sign your bad behaviors. One of the things that I'm so grateful about is I know that the men in my husband's life, not only the men who he partners with in leading the ministry at TFC, but even his college friends, most of the men in his life, I feel very confident that if he was wilding out, they would check him. He doesn't, I can't think of anybody, maybe if I really think about it, but off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody in his life who he actually deals with, if he was wilding out, that they wouldn't check him. Now, I'm not telling you they're going to call me. Some of them would, but not all of them. I can't tell you they're going to call me and tell me that he was wilding out, but I can almost guarantee you the men he chooses to spend time with will be looking at him, even if they wilding out. Even if they wilding out, they're going to be looking at my husband like, what are you doing? And it's the same with me. And so you want to be careful that the people you're talking to, that they're not reinforcing negativity, that they're not co-signing any bad behavior for you, that they're not just co-signing and agreeing with you just so that you won't be upset. You want to make sure you're being careful, because marriage is a very vulnerable space. And you want people in your circle who are going to protect that vulnerability. So you want people who are going to give you wise counsel. Research, I want to tell you the research as well. Listen to this, because I looked this up before I got on this live. Research says that couples who feel supported by a healthy community are more resilient during times of conflict. Couples who feel supported by a healthy community are more resilient during times of conflict. This is why I am telling you that you're missing out on a secret weapon in your marriage. And that secret weapon is hand selecting an advisory team, people who will walk with you in your marriage. Because here's what I want you to understand. Here is a hard truth. Even good people can give bad advice. Good people can give bad advice. So just because they're a good person, hear me, this is where it's going to get really tricky. Don't get mad. Don't get mad at me. Even folks who love you may not give good wisdom when it comes to marriage. That's why I'm saying you want to hand select the people that you share about your marriage. You know, a lot of, I don't know, husbands, if you all know this, but women are often told that once they get married, they can't have single friends. And in these 20 plus years of me working with couples, and in these 17 years of me being a licensed clinical professional, I just simply do not agree with that. Some of my very close friends are single women. I do not agree that married women cannot have single friends. I just do not think that that is reasonable, and that suggests that single women can't be wise. But what I am saying is that whether it's a married person or whether it's a single person, you have to hand select the people that you open up to about your marriage. We're not talking about 20 folk. We're not even talking about 10. I want you to get you a solid, small advisory team that you can do life with. It is a secret weapon. As you're just coming on, I want you to understand, when I'm working with couples, one of the things the couple knows I'm going to ask, or I'm going to check up with. They may not know I'm going to ask it when we first start working together, but they know I'm going to circle back and ask them, who's in your life? Who are you talking to? Who can hold you accountable? I ask the husbands, who are your boys? Talk to me about your boys. I ask the women, who are your girlfriends? Tell me about your girlfriends. I ask them, who do y'all go out with? When y'all want to go hang out, who do y'all call? Because it's so important that you are not isolated in your marriage. Couples that are isolated fall victim to their own dynamic. Couples that are isolated begin to think they're the only ones going through. Couples that are isolated tend to catastrophize issues because they think they're the only ones dealing with it. There is something so powerful that happens when you are in a safe community and you're able to talk through what's happening in your marriage, and the people in your life have the same worldview, biblical view about marriage. And so they can validate what you're experiencing and then hold you accountable to the truth. truth. They can validate that they've been there before, but remind you that there's hope on the other side. You want to hand select the people that you're doing life with so that you're not isolated and you think your husband the only one that's crazy. Girl, all of them are crazy. I'm just kidding. All of them. Okay. Husbands, you want to be around some men who are going to tell you, man, listen, we dealt with that in year 10, and this is how I dealt with it. This is what I did. Man, you can't talk to your wife like that. When you say that to her, that's going to shut her down. A woman who can say to another woman, now sis, you didn't think he was going to get upset about that? You need somebody who can check you, boo. Okay? Now, let me get through this. So, I want you again to create a circle of couples, call them your advisory board. This is not just about people who are giving you advice. Remember, the Bible says iron sharpens iron. And y'all know my favorite translation says iron sharpens iron through intense discussion. That means you're not just hanging out, you're doing life together. You're literally doing life together. You're hanging out, you're talking, you are creating safety so that you can begin to build enough trust to have the tough conversations. But if you are constantly with somebody who is speaking negative about their spouse, who is okay with opening doors that can lead them down a path that's not good, that co-signs you, you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay. So we just talked about why you got to have it. I've talked about the risk of not having it just a little bit. I talked about the fact that it causes you to catastrophize issues. It makes you more vulnerable to resentment, and even, hear me, do the research yourself. It even makes you more victim to infidelity when you're doing life by yourself, because it's like, one negative situation, then another negative situation, then another negative situation begins to harden your heart. And when your heart becomes hardened, it sets you up to open doors to sin. But when you have people in your life that can help you redirect that resentment, it can keep you on a path of safety. Couples who do not have supportive communities are likely to disengage, and they are likely to not seek help. And here's the bottom line. The enemy thrives in secrecy, and the enemy thrives in division. The enemy thrives in secrecy, and the enemy thrives in division. The enemy wants you isolated. He wants you by yourself. And so you want to make sure that you're not giving room to the enemy. You want to invite accountability in your life. Many of you know that I just released a brand new course called Healing from Betrayal. And in that course, I walk couples through how to begin to repair your marriage after there's been a betrayal in the marriage. And one of the segments in that course, we talk about how important community is, how important it is to have people in your life who can walk with you. And so I want to make sure that you are doing that on the front end. So hear me. The bottom line is your marriage is not supposed to be done alone. I know this might be contrary to what you've heard before. Again, I heard what happens in this house stays in this house. And there is some element of making sure that this is between me and my husband. But you don't want to be so isolated, or you and your wife, you don't want to be so isolated that nobody can come in and help you see what you can't see. Okay? So I want to talk about, how do you begin to find your people? Okay. Let's talk very practically. First of all, when I talk about you having community, I definitely want you and your spouse to have at least a solid 3 to 4 couples. Now, some of y'all are saying, now, Robin, you stretching me. Because y'all know, can we keep it real? It is hard to find a couple that the wife and the wife like each other, and the husband like each other. Y'all know how hard it is. The wives might get along, the husbands ain't really feeling each other. The husbands might be boys, but the wives are kind of like, she not my cup of tea. So I know when I say 3 to 4 couples, some of y'all are like, Robin, you stretching me, but I'm telling you, Can you just trust me? Can you trust me when I tell you you need 3 to 4 couples? Now, what I would love if those 3 to 4 couples, if all of you kind of did life together, but if not, it's okay if you and your spouse can name 3 or 4 couples that you all connect with. So again, I would love for all 5 of the couples to be able to hang together. But I might be doing the most with that for y'all. But I want you and your spouse to be able to name 3 to 4 couples that periodically y'all can go out to dinner. Periodically y'all can do a quick road trip. Periodically they can come over to your house for dinner. You can go over there. Y'all can get on a Zoom and have a game night. 3 to 4 couples. But that's not all I want you to do. I want you all to be able to have that together. But husbands, I want you to be able to tell me a solid 3 to 4 men that you know you can talk to about marriage, who have the same biblical worldview you have about marriage, who are committed to their wives and committed to the institution of marriage. And wives, I want you to have the same 3 to 4 women. Even if those 3 to 4 women that you have don't have to still be a part of this couples group, I want you to be able to name 3 to 4 women that you know you can talk to about your marriage. So where do you find them? Where do you find these couples? Where do you find these people? First of all, are you a member of a church? I need you to go ahead and join a church, and not just any church. I need you to join a church that has an active marriage ministry and they are committed to the institution of marriage. I need you to find your church home because, baby, that's where you can find your people, right? And you can be a part of a small group. Listen, one of the things that we love, we being my husband and I, is scrolling through Facebook. We talk about them because they don't be inviting us, but we love scrolling through Facebook and seeing couples from our church doing life together. We love that. And so that's one of the places you can find them. Or maybe if you, a lot of times, one of our college buddies is on here, my brother's on here. It might be people that you went to college with, but again, they got to have the same mindset about marriage that you do. It could be childhood friends. It could be somebody that you work with. If you have built a rapport with that person. Now, you have to test this out, right? You got to give it time. So maybe if y'all have nobody right now, maybe you and your spouse say, okay, let's start praying. Make this a point of prayer. Y'all both listen to this video. Do the research on your own. Don't take my word for it. Do the research on your own. Find out what the research says about couples who are isolated and don't have anybody in their life. And then make it a point of prayer. You know what? We listened to Robin's video and we do want to make this something. And if this is God's plan, if the Bible says there's wisdom in a multitude of counsel, God will ensure that you have the people that you need. So make it a point of prayer. Look for couples that you respect and admire. We're not talking about perfection, but we're talking about people who are committed to their marriage. You're looking for not only mentors, not only people you can look to, but people you can walk with. Let me say it again. You're not only looking for people that you can look to for wisdom, you're looking for people that you can walk with. So pray about it. Begin to reach out. Say to somebody, say, hey, let's go out to college. Yeah, let's catch a movie. Let's go get some coffee. Let's hang out. Put yourself out there. The Bible says if you want a friend, you got to show yourself friendly. You can invite them over to dinner. You can invite them to, hey, we headed over here to this, one of the things the couples at our church are going to be doing soon is we're looking at the calendar of events, like the, what do they call? I'm having a brain freeze. Not picnics. Like when people are just out playing music, whatever. We're going to go to festivals. We're going to just go to festivals together. So find things that y'all can just do together. So again, you don't need 20 couples. I want you to find a solid, let's just say a solid 3. Because maybe 3 to 4 is pushing you. So let's say a solid 3. So why am I saying this? Because I truly believe this is a secret weapon to you winning in your marriage. I don't want you and your spouse isolated. I want you all to have a community. Because when you have a community, when one person is struggling, the other person can hold you up. Now, I want to say this before we go, because I said we were going to be done by 7:25. How did I do? And if you're watching this well after the time, I said I was going to be done in 15 minutes. So I want you to look and see if this video is 15 minutes. It's not. It looks like it's about 22 minutes. That's okay. I want to say this because I cannot have this conversation without warning you about this. Hear me. You want to be very careful that you do not open up the realities of your marriage, the personal dynamics of your marriage to anyone that has not proven themselves to care about you and your spouse. If somebody is just Team Robin and Robin only, they are not Team Lee and Robin. If someone is just Team Lee and they're not Team Lee and Robin, that's not who we talk to. We are very careful that I do not share intimately about my marriage with anybody who doesn't honor, respect, and value my husband. So that's why the number is very small for me. That's why the number is very small for him. Not that there are not plenty of people who respect us, but you have to have proven that to me, because the people in your ear can influence you. So when I'm talking about you opening up your circle, this is not opening up and just free willy. This is trust built over time. Trust doesn't have to just happen. Trust has to be earned. So you're building towards that, and you're not assuming. You're having that conversation. Listen, after y'all built a relationship, I really hope that we can hold each other accountable in this way. You're being discerning, you're praying about it, and you're being led of God. Because while this is a valuable piece to the success of your marriage, if not done with wisdom, it could create a lot of challenges. And so I would never talk to anybody about my marriage if my husband is not okay with that person. Okay. And so you want to make sure that whomever you're opening your heart up to has proven to be able to hold your heart in the hands of God. All right, y'all. I hope this helped. If it did, will you share this video? Will you comment? Will you let us know what other topics you want us to cover? Because over here, we're helping Christian couples win in their marriage. I'll see you all next time.